A Precious Rainbow by Miles Prower 07. Epilogue. The Iron Pony. Two sets of hooves raced down the dirt path towards the finish line, one set light brown, the other set cyan blue. Neither was giving an inch. The uproar of cheers from all around grew louder as the finish drew ever closer. "I'm not just gonna give this to you, Rainbow. I respect you too much to do that. You're gonna have to take it," Applejack managed to say through her heavy breathing.
I don't expect any less,"
Rainbow replied, equally tired, ready for this race to be over. The cheering came from all around, from the spectators to left and right, from the front behind the finish line. Even the racers behind them were cheering the two leaders on. It was almost deafening. The race had been just like last year's, except without all the trickery that had caused them tie for last. To be sure, this race was going to be a race to remember. The finish was just seconds away. Rainbow's heart pounded against her chest. A photo finish pony stood at the side of the finish line, ready with an instant develop camera, ready to snap away the moment the first hoof crossed the finish line. The pair of ponies came closer. Closer. Just 2 strides away, Rainbow let out an exhausted grunt as she lurched forward to touch the checkered dirt first. There was a flash from the camera, and there was cheering all around as Applejack and Rainbow clumsily skidded to a halt, Rainbow somersaulting a few times in her exhausted state. As Applejack helped her friend to her feet, making sure she was okay, the spectators quieted down for a moment, as the photographer blew on the freshly developed photo, waiting for the image to appear to reveal the winner. He squinted at the photo, and then his eyes widened as he raised the picture to the sky. "It's Rainbow Dash, by a nose!" The crowd returned to its overpowering volume as tears of joy overcame Rainbow, falling back on her haunches, and Applejack congratulated and hugged the wingless Pegasus. "You did it! You did it!" she screamed over the uproar of the crowd. The other racers came and tiredly congratulated the overwhelmed Rainbow as they came across the finish line and caught their breath. The cyan Pegasus joyfully sobbed as her breaths slowly came to her easier. Twilight and Spike descended from the weather balloon and likewise congratulated Rainbow on her stunning victory. As more racers crossed the finish line, the cheering slowly died down, and space was made for the top 3 podium, and minutes later, the medal ceremony began. Princess Celestia came through the crowd from her chariot, holding 3 medals to give out. Rainbow was taken aback for a moment, as she noticed the princess's left hoof was dipped in the liquid rainbow, along with every pony else's. She first awarded the bronze to the 3rd-place finisher, who gave a short bow afterwards, and then she walked to the other end of the podium to waiting Applejack. "Applejack, I understand that you've been housing Rainbow down by the farm. It takes a strong friendship to support a friend's decision when you don't always agree with it. Congratulations," the princess said, placing the silver medal around Applejack's neck, and then came to the center podium, where Rainbow stood, still breathing a little heavily, tears still streaming down her face. "And Rainbow Dash, it is absolutely astounding what you have accomplished. You have not only fought a rigorous physical battle of recovery, but an emotional one as well." She gently hung the shimmering gold medal around Rainbow's neck and placed her rainbow-covered hoof on her shoulder. "Congratulations." The top 3 gave short bows, and Celestia nodded in return and went to greet the other racegoers.
I did it. I really did it,"
Rainbow said to Applejack, both of them hopping off the podium. "You sure did, Iron Pony," Applejack said, and the 2 shared another hug before their other friends came to congratulate Rainbow.
"Rainbow, that was amazing,"
Fluttershy said rather assertively.
"So, where do we go to celebrate?"
Spike asked.
"Yeah, where would you like to go, Rainbow?" "Actually, guys, I'm worn out. And even though I ignored every pony's advice by running in this race, you guys are right. I'm not fully recovered yet, and I still need to rest up. So, I think I'll be heading back to the farm with Applejack."
She turned to her friend, the silver medal hanging around her neck.
"If that's all right with you."
"Well, of course it is, Sugar Cube." The pair of ponies began walking back to the acres, now just half the distance due to the location of the race. As they walked through the front gate, Applejack put an arm around Rainbow's shoulder. "That was a fantastic race, Rainbow. Even though I initially disagreed, and I'm proud of you for following what your heart told you."
"Thanks, AJ. And thanks for not letting up. I thought you'd be mad at me for storming out yesterday."
"Not at all. It wasn't right of me to break my promise like I did. Rainbow smiled at her friend. Well, at least I can still beat you in one thing, AJ teased as they passed the horseshoe sandpit.
Oh yeah? Care for a rematch of that too, apple snack?
Rainbow asked, flipping a horseshoe up with her front hoof and catching it in her mouth, standing at the throw line. AJ scoffed. You might itch one out and running, girl, but you ain't out throwing the Apple family horseshoe champ. AJ picked up a horseshoe and joined Rainbow at the throw line, the Pegasus smirking at her and hers still between her teeth. Applejack took aim, lowered her head down in preparation, and threw. The end. Thank you all so much for listening to this reading of A Precious Rainbow. Like I have mentioned before, it is one of my favorite Cupcakes-based fanfictions. So, I believe the next reading I'm going to put out will be of Les Petites Fours, which is also a Cupcakes-based fanfiction, but it is much more darker. So, if you do not like dark stuff like, mutilation, all this stuff, you don't have to listen to it. You won't hurt my feelings. But if you do like that stuff, then please stick around and listen to that when that comes out. That'll probably just be all in one video because, well, yeah, it doesn't have multiple chapters. So, I was thinking that, and then I'm probably going to go with a more positive fanfiction after that one. Probably like an Equestria Girls one or another pony one. I do have a couple in mind. But yeah, also I do not take suggestions, and I'm not going to do any of the ones that have been done like a million times, like the original Cupcakes, Rainbow Factory, etc. Because there's already like 10,000, okay, maybe not 10,000, maybe like 10 or something. Yeah, probably 10. Let's go with 10. That's a good number. I like that number. Probably like 10 readings of that out already by people who are probably better at this than I am. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and stay tuned for whatever it might be. Maybe a parody, maybe a fic reading, or whatever the heck it is, whatever my brain decides it wants to do. So yeah, anyway, bye!